So hello everyone, this will be part two of our demo. We talked about hiding stuff, we talked about organizing, we made subclips. I'm gonna make a few more again, as a review, and then we're gonna build our project, and then we're gonna do an export. So what we're gonna do now is go back to our Sony, show you that these are the clips that we imported earlier. Now, one thing that was an option, or one thing that we talked about was going in here and choosing good and hide. And I forgot all about this actually. So Jack, let's say that we hid that one, right? And like I said, we don't want to see that one. Well, we do have this option. So like, let's say if we hide it, we don't want to see it anymore. But maybe like in our project, we do want to, again, this is the demo, so we want to see it. If I double click, I can do view hidden and it'll bring it back, and then I can remove that hide check so I can work on it. And that's just a right click or two finger click if you have a trackpad, but it's a right click and do the view hidden. And of course, once I've done it, I can remove it and just check it off. So it's a right click, view hidden, you'll bring it back. So now I'm gonna look at Jack here. I'm gonna create a few more in and out points. So I'm gonna use JKL, set an in point.
Okay, I'm ready. You?
And I put I'm ready you, out point. And okay, now I'm kind of mixed up because I've selected this, but if I want to do a subclip, I don't want to put it in here. I want to put it in my subclip section. So here's my subclip bus depot. If I open that up, there we go. Now when I have Jack here and I do Command U, let's delete that. Let's just call bus driver. Remember, leave that unchecked for now, and we'll say okay. And there we go, it adds itself. Notice that it started over with the naming. It went back to 001. The reason it did that is because we're on a new clip. And the great thing about all this kind of work is that as I keep...
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, that's kind of loud.
Oh,
there we go. I'm gonna leave that alone.
You gotta shut the back door.
So let's say I want that part. Shut the back door, right? It's the pane over here under sources highlight is in blue, so that's selected. If I look at assembly, I'm still, if I look at what I'm inside of, it still says bus driver proj bus depot subclips. So I'm still in my subclips. That's where I want to be. Because remember, sometimes I'll film for 30 minutes or an hour, and I can create subclips of that. Boom, 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 boom. All of these little sections. So this becomes really useful to do in and out. Command U, name it. In and out. Command U, name it. And that just becomes a way of like working really, really fast. So I'm gonna go in subclip, and I'm gonna put bus driver error. Okay, and there we go. See, all my subclips have been put where they need to be. And I'm just gonna make one more for fun.
Okay.
Where I say okay, Command U, subclip, and I'm gonna say bus driver okay. So there we go. Now we have all these clips. And notice even if they're out of order here, but they're still numbered properly. Again, that's why I like to keep that aspect. There's something about maybe things are in order. It may come in useful to you. Maybe if you're trying to find some kind of logical sequence, because, you know, as we all know, as we're working on a show, or maybe you don't know, but just because you film them in a certain order doesn't mean they have to be edited in that order. However, maybe you're thinking like, I know I shot that before this part. Sometimes that naming convention will come in handy. So let's just go back up a level and go back into our list view. So here's what our show is starting to look like. We have that one folder with the two main clips in there. But because I'm making these subclips, I don't have to rely on those main ones. I can just use these right here in the subclip section. Now, the easiest thing to do to start making my show is just like it says in the timeline, drop media here to create a sequence, drop media. Now, if I also go down here where it says new item and I click here, I can create a sequence. That's my first option. if I do that, oops, it went to project shortcut. Let's go to sequence. I'm going to get this screen. I don't know if you can see it, but it says new sequence, and it gives me all kinds of information related to video files that can get very confusing very quickly. So sometimes the easiest thing to do is just, again, to drag and drop your folder or your file, your file into the timeline, and the sequence will automatically get created. The downside of this is that at this point, people forget or just keep building their project and don't pay attention to the organization. Because right now what happened is I threw that file inside of the timeline. The sequence will name itself after that file. So right now, if I look at my project pane under subclips, I have a different icon. It looks like a couple of lines with a little line through the middle. Well, that's just a tiny version of a timeline. The purple up top is the video and the green on the bottom is the audio. And in the side in the middle is the playhead. So what I want to do immediately before I continue is I like to click outside. I like to go to my bin. I'm going to make a new bin, and I'm going to call that sequences. So now I have 3 bins. I have my main video bin, my subclips bin, and my sequences bin. I'm going to drag and drop my sequence inside of that sequences bin, just like that. So if I open them all up, here's what it looks like. I have one sequence inside my sequences. Here's my main video. So I can now go in, probably I can change this, my main video bin, and call this maybe master files. Hit return. And I'm not going to use those, so I can close that up. And maybe, you know, I said I could go over here. Maybe I can hide those because I don't want to see them anymore. They're in here. Remember, if I want to see them, all I have to do is right click and do view hidden. They'll come back and I can uncheck that, and now they'll stay. But for now, I'm going to hide them. Okay. Now, my sequences, what I'm going to do that's very, very important at this point. Oh, let's see, is it not going away? That's not going. Oh, you know why it's not going away? Because I have to right click and take off view hidden. There we go. Now it's gone. The most important thing to do as soon as I create a new sequence is name my sequence. So what I would suggest you all do is in my sequence, I go here. Remember, click once, pause, click again. And I'm going to delete that. And because the sequence is going to be the name of your project, let's name it immediately. So I can put your name, project 1. And if I look down at my timeline, there it is, your name, project 1. And if it gets exported, that's what it's going to be exported as. So you're already kind of proactively getting your work ready. So now I have my timeline. Here's my project. And what I have is my first clip that I added. The sequence needs to have settings, and because you dragged and dropped one of your video clips, it just took those settings and created a sequence based on those settings of the video, which means the frame rate of the video, the size of the video, and the frame rate, size, codec, and audio clip as well. Audio, that's if it has one, amongst other things. But those are the main settings that get set, if you will. So here is my playhead. Now, this is one of my favorite shortcuts. I'm going to share that with you now. You can use your arrow keys left and right to go a frame at a time. So this is where you can start getting very precious if you'd like. But if I have my arrow keys, if I press the up button, up takes me back. If I press down arrow, it takes me to the end of my clip. So here's how I can get precious. Like, let's say if I want to start building my video, I just press down and it puts my playhead at the very end. So when I get my next file, I'll drag it over. It will get put, I can put it right after the second one. And now, right now I have something called snapping that's automatically set. That's what this magnet is right here, snap, which means it'll automatically, the next clip will automatically connect itself to the end of the last clip. There we go. So now if I hit my L key to play, my 2 clips playing. There we go. And if I press up arrow, boom, boom, it goes to the very beginning. There we go, just like that. This is, again, my preferred method of editing. If, however, let me show you another method, though. For some people, again, this can be, it can be quicker for many people, but let's look at Jack here. This goes back to our in and out point. So if I tap in,
down.
Okay.
I'm ready. You.
And I tap out, I can actually go into anywhere in this main area and I can click and drag and put this clip on my timeline too, without creating a subclip. You might say, well, that's a lot faster. It's true, but if the show is bigger and we're talking about editing a lot, I mean, we want to actually have, in a way, the best parts of our project here before we start building it, because maybe our director decides they don't like what we've done. And if we want to make changes, it makes it a lot harder if you don't have them already pre-selected. Because you're like, well, why can't I just go back to the main clip? Because every time I choose in and out, see, my previous in and out gets erased.
Oh, you got to shut the back door.
So let's say I do this, in and out, and I drag and drop. And see, it automatically snaps. Boom. Boom. Just like that. So now I'm going to rewind my playhead, press my space bar or L for play. And here's what I have edited so far.
Down.
Okay.
I'm ready. You.
Oh, you got to shut the back door.
And there you go. All my clips edited one after the other. Right now, it maybe doesn't make a lot of sense because it's a bit random, but there we go, our first little clip. And if we look at our information here, this is our timeline. This is how long our show is. It's 7 seconds and 6 frames. For your reference now, but notice that if I move my playhead, this will change because this is showing me my position of my playhead. And this is showing me the position of where my clip is in the project, in the program itself. Now, program pane is tied to timeline. But sometimes that's moving. Let's say you're in the middle and someone asks you, this is a long show. Well, how long is it? If you look over here to the right side, this will always tell you how long your show is. Right here. Okay. Now, let's see, what else do we need? Drag and drop, trim. Now, let's say though, down here, I want to zoom in a little bit because it's a little small. Well, that's what this section does for you. If I drag to the right, it makes it smaller, but if I drag to the left, notice my clips get a little bit bigger, and I can even see my waveforms. I can make my waveforms bigger by doing the same thing, dragging this down, and also my video I can make bigger by dragging this down. See, now things are starting to look a little bit bigger. But let's say that, let me move Jackie out a little bit here. Let me move this clip. I can leave a gap if I want. Let's say though that I want to add more of the depot. Well, that's what, if I move my arrow down here, notice it gives me that red bar with the arrow, and it's pointing this way to the right, or it can point to the left. If I press and hold on the end of it, the whole line will turn red, and I can drag out. See, and I can add more content. See, I just added more content. Let me undo that. See, I removed it. I added more. Removed. I'm doing Command Z to remove. Add more. So that's another reason why I uncheck in the subclip to restrict it only to that. If I had restricted it, I wouldn't be able to add more. It would be like, that's it. This is all you have. But by unchecking it and leaving it blank, then I can add more to the very end of the whole clip. So I can recreate the entire clip if I wanted to, or go as far as the next clip. So there you go. I smashed up against this one. And the same thing with this too. I can add content here, or I can go the other way. So I can trim him over here and then add more over here. There you go. If you need to review this, feel free to pause, rewind. That's the beauty of doing the demos this way. And there we go. Now, if you would like, you also have the ability to trim sections. Let's say you want to cut that section where it gets blurry. Right there. So I can use my arrow key to put my playhead where I want. I put my playhead where I want to make the cut. Then I go over here to my tools, and I'm going to see the fourth one down is the razor. I can click on the razor, and if I go over here and click, I've made a cut. I'll go back to my arrow key or my selection tool, select the clip I want to remove, see it'll all be white, and then I hit delete. And when I hit delete, it leaves a black space inside. If I right click in that black space, I get an option for something called a ripple delete. Ripple delete means it'll remove all the space or everything that's selected, and it'll bring the previous clip up to the clip to the left. And notice it brought both clips, so it brings the entire show. So even if you have a 2-hour show and you're at the beginning doing a ripple delete, it's going to move everything over, which becomes very useful. That none of this stuff, if you've done a ton of work, it won't get out of sequence, which, oh, it can be a bear if that happens. Okay, I think we've done everything we need to in terms of organizing, importing, creating subclips, creating our timeline. Let's talk about doing an export of our project, and we'll be done. So what we'll want to do first, come over to our project pane and choose the sequence itself. Now we'll go to File. We're going to go to Export, way down here, and choose Media. Notice the shortcut is Command M, I believe will be Control M on a PC. So we'll select that. Okay. Now I want to make sure that you can see this, so I'm going to stop sharing right now, and I'm going to reshare my export window. All right, let's go to Zoom. Let's share the export window. Here we go. All right, so here's my export window. I'm going to go from top to bottom on both sides. So I'm going to start on the left side. Now I have in the notes, and I'm going to put up some notes for you to follow. I'm going to go down to where it says source range and choose entire sequence. I recommend this to you all right now to choose entire sequence in case you accidentally put an in and out point in your timeline that might have happened as you were getting excited. So this will override any of that in and out. So as you're working and as you're learning, my suggestion to you, or I'm going to require it, source range, choose entire sequence for now. Okay, now we go to format. We're going to choose not the DCP, we're going to choose the H.264 because that's the format we want. So go to this one, H.264, not Blu-ray, just regular old H.264. And under preset, we're going to click on this and go all the way down to either Vimeo or YouTube 480p SD wide. So 480p is the resolution, which is SD stands for standard definition as a wide format. By default, standard definition is not wide. So that's why you have to be sure to choose the one that says wide. The YouTube one, 480p SD wide, will work fine as well. I just prefer Vimeo. I think it's a little bit better. I don't know. That could be completely anecdotal. So remember, we're going from top to bottom. Next, we go to output name. Remember, we go to click on that. And if you didn't name your sequence, it'll probably have some weird name related to your video clip. So here's where you do your name, project one, if you haven't done that yet. Okay, do that now. The next thing we do is it's going to say where. And actually, let me see if I can stop that so I can show it to you. So we have to keep doing this for each little aspect. Here we go. It's very specific. Okay, now here we are in the export window. But I really want to show this to you because if you click on the disclosure triangle, you can choose exactly where it's going to go. And for us, we're going to put it under our export, finals and export. And there's our name, files and export, and then we're going to choose save. If you don't have a finals and export folder, you can create one with new folder. Okay, just choose new folder and then name it. So we're going to hit save. And let's go to share window one more time to our export window. And now I have selected my files exports folder. That's where my project is going to go. It's going to export video. It's going to export audio. And that's really all we need to do at this point to export the project. As you get better and as you create professional work, you're going to choose maximum render quality. For now, don't worry about it. This is also important not to do that if you're giving it to a client, especially if it's a rough cut, because sometimes some clients will try to get away with, well, this one's good enough. So this way you're not giving them the best project. So once all that's done, click export and your Premiere will export. And mine was pretty quick and got done fairly fast. So let me do one more quick thing. Let me bring up a Finder window. Let's share that. And let's take a look to see our file. I put it in file export and there it is, your name. And it's nice and short, only 8 seconds. And the size of it is only 4 meg. That's another reason why we're doing these projects as standard definition. It will allow us to upload these into Canvas much easier. And then also as you're creating these files, you don't have to wait hours while it renders out. Okay, so at this point you are ready to upload this to Canvas. That will be the demo that you'll find under Thursday's office hour. So look there to find out how to upload. So that will conclude our first demo in using Premiere, how to organize, how to looking at our project panes, and how to start building our projects. All right, everybody. Well, hope you have a great weekend and or a great week. Break a leg, be productive.